Bitcoin is right under its previous all-time high. We might be breaking all-time highs live on the show today. We're 3 days away from Trump's inauguration, and we're going to be giving you the alpha on some of our favorite altcoins, where I expect to see some of the hot new options that have been rolled out by Coinbase, and what this could mean for ONDO and Chainlink. I'm joined by my homie here, the man behind BitLab Academy. We got Kelly Kellum. Kelly, how the hell are you feeling right?
Hey, green candles make everything better. You know, screw Apple a day. I want green candles every day. But we're kind of getting into that season. You know, I would argue we're so bullish that there's still an opportunity for a bit of a liquidity washout in the next few days. I'm leaning towards it's not going to happen, but we got to be prepared. But I'm seeing 113 in the near future. I'm seeing 125. Hell, I'm seeing 250 sometime this year. So let's dive into it, because we got, between now and Monday, I think we're going into a new era. I got the free, I don't know if you can see it, free Ross day one, baby. I got the shirt on. The era's here. Bitcoin, crypto. Let's get it.
Yeah, Ross, that'd be something that we need to stay on Trump to do. We need to see a pardon for Ross from day one on Trump's initiation as president. Okay, it's great that he's the president of the United States elect. He's going to be in the seat in 3 days, but we need to hold Trump accountable to make sure he follows through.
It's most important, because we want to see, is he starting with honoring the promises he made? Even though this isn't directly crypto focused, it is tangentially has to do with the crypto ecosystem. Yes. And if he doesn't honor that, it's going to kind of be like, well, what the heck?
I know. And like I said, it's been a hell of a fight to get him into the seat, but we have to keep fighting to keep him honest on what his promises were to make sure he follows through. Right now, you know, we're setting up. Bitcoin is doing amazing, but honestly, this is a highlight from Tech Dev. The cycle position, the signal is not much clearer. Now, this is on the log setup here, but the RSI all the way at the bottom end here, really giving us kind of a double bottom kind of signal on the log chart. I might want to battle you a little bit, Kelly, on the show here, because you're saying this isn't a 4-year cycle anymore. This is the new paradigm. Like, what reasoning do you have behind that?
Well, first off, I did not say that. I said I think that we could be ushering into an era where that narrative changes, because we're coming into an era now where we have all of these capital channels that have aligned, and the awareness is being awoken in all these like large wealth holders, pension funds, an international arms race for Bitcoin.
Fair. This is fair.
So I think with that being said, I don't see us having an 85% correction moving forward. I think we will still have, periods of large correction, much like we see in the stock market. If you come over to the S&P 500, if you look at the chart I have up here, there we go. We had, pretty big moves in the stock market as well as Bitcoin. So we can still have pretty large moves in Bitcoin to the downside. However, because we are ushered into this stage right now, with that chart you also just showed from Tech Dev, I think the battle to hold Bitcoin, coupled with new Bitcoin products out there, aka you can take a loan against your Bitcoin versus needing to sell it to free up capital, changes the game entirely about where this sell pressure is going to come from.
Now, and so we don't need to battle then, because I do agree with you on that. It's like, I do feel like there's going to be a good pullback. In my heart, I feel like the pullback is going to be less than we're used to seeing. It's made it, like, being a 4-year maxi has made it pretty easy to trade the markets. Last cycle, we pumped up, from 19K, we pumped up to about 64, 69K, kind of a double top fashion here, but it made it very easy, in history past, just drawing a line basically from the previous all-time high to where we fell down to. And this is my signal in this current cycle. When it was the bear market, I knew to back up the truck and finally refill my bags once we fell down to that $16,000, $17,000 price level. What you're saying is actually something I very much so agree with. It's that we're going to see a pullback. It's just not going to be to the 80% degree that we're used to seeing.
You want to hear something bizarre?
What's up?
I guarantee when we get the next halving in 4 years, was that 2028, right? There's going to be people that sell Bitcoin because they are worried. It's going to be a small percentage, but there's going to be people that are worried that that's when Bitcoin halves.
Yeah.
My mom asked me that. She goes, "Are you okay? I just heard the halving happened. Did you lose half your money?" I was like, "It's the opposite of that, man. It's the complete opposite of the way the world government financial systems work, monetary systems. No, it's. I mean, we're in for it. I mean, because all these new people coming in, we got to do our job to educate people as best we can, because this opportunity, even right now, I would argue is a better opportunity to get in probably than 12 years ago, because most people 12 years ago would not have held for the last 12 years in all those dips. Where we're at right now, we have a substantiated real case for the acceptance and the empowerment of Bitcoin going forward without governments trying to squash it. So
they're seeming like an ally now. That's the difference. And like we were, for anyone that's been around for multiple cycles, if you were in crypto, you were a flat out adversary of government entities and fiat currency and banks. There is no other way to talk about it. Like Bitcoin is a competitor to fiat systems as they exist right now. But to your point, Kelly, investors through the BlackRock ETF are still buying over $100,000. We saw BlackRock inflows continuing today. The investors are still feeling bullish about Bitcoin in the long term. And that's kind of the funny thing. I saw a bunch of posts, someone's telling you to buy Bitcoin now. Do not listen to them. Ignore them. These are very short-sighted opinions. And, obviously, if you're in a leveraged long, maybe as we approach these all-time highs, right, then you deleverage. But spot holding has been something that has really changed my life in general. So it appears BlackRock gets it. It appears these government entities get it. And we see even some more movement from state Bitcoin reserves. We see Massachusetts, the Senator Paul Durant introduced their own bill in Massachusetts to create a Bitcoin strategic reserve. This news broke today. Very, very interesting. And it's making more sense to me to see the states front run the U.S. federal government in the creation of these federal reserves, almost as testing grounds, but also getting theirs before the getting gets really good. We also see, I don't believe, is California already set up for their strategic reserve? Because I saw they have a pro-Bitcoin bill.
Have you seen their administration?
I've seen the administration. They're sitting here dealing with the fires from mismanagement, obviously. But California is on my mind. We saw Texas move forward with theirs. California is a very large GDP within the United States and really across the world. If you compare California to even most countries, California is a huge basket of money. So I am waiting.
It's the 5th largest economy in the world.
Yeah, that's why I'm waiting. I'm like, you guys, what are you waiting for? But you're right. They are dealing with quite a bit of other things going on right now. But Kelly, while we're on this strategic reserve conversation, do you think that the U.S. government is going to actively buy Bitcoin in 2025?
That would be a bold move. As excited as everybody is about it, I think it's less likely than people expect. I think the movement's going to be more towards one of two things. One being an executive order or a very clear statement, we will not ever sell anything that we're currently holding. The other possibility I think is more likely than buying is that they actively move. Remember, we just got, and we're going to talk about this in a bit, the IRS resignation.
Yes.
But what if the part of that strategic reserve plan is that they open up the ability to pay for taxes in Bitcoin? Because then that's a way to actively stack towards that into that fund. But I don't see them moving legislatively fast enough to get a strategic Bitcoin reserve signed and also allocate funds to actively go and purchase.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. It's going to take time for the Treasury to set up the allowance to purchase and hold Bitcoin, right? And I hope to God that they're able to hold on to what they have. We have seen the approval for the 70,000 Bitcoin through the Silk Road seizures to be sold in the last few days of Joe Biden's presidency. For some reason, he wants to leave us with one last rug. So hopefully he's able to get out and just go eat some ice cream on the Delaware beach without screwing up our bags. We also saw Coinbase endorsed the creation of a U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve as well. Now, this is the question. Is Coinbase, in your opinion, going to have any involvement in the housing of the Bitcoin for the U.S. government, or would it just be multi-sig wallets through the Treasury?
You know, that's a hard question to answer because with BlackRock and is it Fidelity? BlackRock and Fidelity both are custody through Coinbase.
Yes.
It's hard to say.
Coinbase holds 9 out of 11. of
Yeah,
the
yeah, they hold a
ETFs.
huge amount, but I don't know in turn. Yeah, honestly, that's a hard. That would be massive for the stock for Coinbase if it does happen.
Mhm.
But I mean, yeah, I don't know. This is why there's still questions that need to be answered. You know, even so far as to consider everybody's so bullish on Monday. I'm bullish on Monday, but what is the outline of the week? Do a bunch of executive orders come in Monday? Do they get stretched out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? If that's the case, we're just gonna pump to oblivion. But same thing with the decision about the custody. Like, I think there's still some things that they're going to need to hammer out.
Yeah, the charts look very, very good. I mean, if we go to Bitcoin right now, this weekly candle is looking thick, looking juicy. Kelly, from a TA perspective, are we set up to break all-time highs from your opinion? Or, you know, statistically, are we looking like we're going to tap it and then come back down into this kind of same range we've been playing with over the next week or so?
Well, I mean, looking at my chart here, we had this sort of falling channel that we've had here. Interestingly, in the last 4 days, this is only 4 days ago. This is on the 1 hour chart. Let's go to the 4 hour chart to tighten it up a little bit. Tighten up, y'all. This is 4 days ago. We were at $89,000. So from that point to where we're at today, we've had a pretty monumental move of about $16,000, almost $17,000 in 4 days. So what could happen between now and Monday? That's anyone's guess. I would argue, though, if we do continue to see a rise here, because we have broken out of this falling channel, this is bullish. We have the money flow, as you can see down here. The money flow flipped back bullish. We have the stochastics angled up. The RSI is looking like if we don't get a bounce here on the RSI soon, we may start looking a bit weak. But this is breaking out. I could see us, this measured move is directly to this line that we've had drawn over at the BitLab Academy since over here in price action. We had this as a target. Interestingly, this is targeting that. Now, my three cases, but I'll do the bullish cases, is we get a little cool off here and we come back and test somewhere in this range. And I think the most important thing we need to do right now, whether we pull back now or pull back up here, what we haven't done yet is have the bulls push up, have the bears bring it back, and have the bulls defend above $100,000.
Right.
So that's really what all eyes are on that. Now, with that being said, as much as I want that to happen, it also sets up a prime trap territory. If the price does come back down and lose, you know, for instance, down to like 96, that would be essentially a liquidity washout. You know, if the price action essentially boop, boop, trap people both directions and then make the move, that is possible as well. It all is unfortunately a bit contingent on the biggest news in the Bitcoin ecosystem in history, which is what are these plans that are going to be rolled out.
Yep. I mean, me personally, I feel there is a large amount of liquidity that I could see being grabbed at about $101,000. That is where my target for my next entry on a long is. Unfortunately, I've been making so much content. I haven't had a trade in 2 days, which is killing me. But me personally, I feel like this is not a sell the news event. I feel like we're going to see an executive order regarding crypto on that first day. And then all hell breaks loose.
Well,
I don't know.
Look at this chart here from Titan of Crypto. This chart here shows something freaking beautiful. There it is. I don't know if I can make it bigger, but we have this MACD cross bearish, and this is where the price went a bit flat. This bullish crossover we just got right here is perfectly coupled with the break of this descending level of resistance. Well, let's go back and see the last time it happened. Boom, right here. Nice move all the way from the 60s all the way up to over 108. The move before that, down here, nice move up, little sideways consolidation before the continuation. We've seen this rinse and repeat, and this is setting up so monumentally perfectly, and more so than that. Let me just highlight this. Everybody's interested in alts too, right? So not only is Bitcoin pushing up, the dominance has broken down from this. And if we outline this with what we saw last cycle, this was also perfectly in line with where Ethereum broke. It started to test and break through its previous all-time high. And also the others chart, which is everything outside of the top 10, also lined up for that next monumental move. And all of them just so happened to also line up with where the presidential election was last cycle. So we have multiple data points, not just price, and we're starting to see it in the charts with things like, you know, for instance, just to throw it here real quick, Ethereum starting to break out of its zone right here that we've had identified for some time. It's weird on somebody else's mouse. Breaking out of the zone back. Look at this trap. Back up, faked you out again. Now testing 35, next target up 36, next target 37. I think we're going to be starting to make these moves in the alt market. So that's why you on Blockchain Basement, that why me on BitLab, we have been stacking like there's no tomorrow, boy.
Oh, yeah, in the altcoin season, like the decoupling from Bitcoin's price action and the real fun in altcoins happened right when we were thought it was going to. It was happened right around Christmas. We saw Bitcoin's dominance start to fall. And I mean, in general, I don't know if you have the Bitcoin dominance chart up there, but it'd be great to show the higher lows or the lower highs rather that have been created on Bitcoin dominance as of recently. Now it's trying to give us these momentary fake outs. And you got my mind thinking about so many things, but I see CJ, crazy wee CJ, given, I think it's like €5, Pepe coin, ticker PEP. Have you heard of it? If so, what do you think? I have not heard about that coin, but in the Blockchain Basement, I'll scrub it. I'll look through all the transactions and see if it's something that might look bullish or if it's a trap. But that one I can't really think on the fly for.
Yeah, but I got the Bitcoin dominance here, and you're so right, dude. It's like you look at charts all day, every day. We had this nice move up. The breakdown of this trend line came up perfectly, retested this, actually formed a new descending trend line, which turned into basically kind of a symmetrical triangle. These are measured like this. You measure the width of that, the target out of this down. This, I'll tell you what this target is. This is massive gain starting for your altcoins. That's what that target is. When the dominance is breaking down, it doesn't mean Bitcoin's going down. It means that the price action on altcoins is moving up faster than Bitcoin is, AKA there's more liquidity flowing into Bitcoin altcoins for that period. But we are setting up for that alt season. Everybody's been waiting on it. It's perfectly contextualized. Same thing by this chart that we just showed.
Something that's on my mind, and this is, one of TJ's worst fears, is that Ethereum's built too many effective, cheap layer twos on top of it to find that same amazing price action that we had last market. Like my Ethereum bags that I bought were $180 a token. And I was able to sell them at $4,500 a unit. So buying Ethereum spot and then selling it near the top was one of the best moves I had for my portfolio last cycle. Now, my exposure to Ethereum this cycle is extremely minimal. I have over 25 tokens, I believe. Ethereum is like the number 23 in terms of size in my portfolio. And so my exposure to Ethereum is very minimal. Over the past few weeks, though, I've been very, very thankful for that because Ethereum is sitting here playing around at $3,500 and literally XRP, and the market cap of XRP is about half of Ethereum's market cap. What is your overall take? Has Ethereum made itself too effective with these layer twos? There's no use for the Ethereum gas in and of itself. Like, what the hell is going to happen to Ethereum this cycle?
I think Ethereum is a bit of a sleeper. I think Ethereum is going to have its day. And I think, and in some ways, I think the altcoin market as a whole will kind of be let loose once Ethereum starts to really break higher. When we do look at the Ethereum chart, zooming out a bit, let's go to the daily. Double click on this to make it auto. There we go. So we, of course, broke out of this sideways range, pushed up. We're still sitting down here in this zone. I think until we get above 3,700 and most importantly, back above 4,000, this zone right here, if we do Alt J, it'll give you a horizontal line there, about $4,000 is this range top. This will be exciting, this area, but it's once you really start to push up out of that you start seeing, I think, the mass confidence for risk in altcoins to really start flowing. And why is that? Because if you have a lot of money flowing in Ethereum and it's pushing up and you're getting new highs, you're breaking out, then you start getting that capital rotation of people taking some profits out and putting it into altcoins. Everybody says, where's the money going to come from for the alt season this cycle? Well, there's new people coming in that are going to be reallocating from other assets. And when Ethereum starts going, then you start getting capital rotation itself within that's going to pump up these other assets.
ETH is Trump's top holding within that World Liberty Fly too. So, I mean, there is a lot of things to think about. It's just I've seen Base take so much mind share out of the gas usage. So it's like, now that I see and just to clarify, I think XRP is an immovable object, but we do see XRP catching up to Ethereum's market cap in a very literal way. Just to clarify, though, if it hits $1 trillion market cap over the next 3 years, that means XRP moves to $10.25 a unit.
Well, pull up my XRP chart here. This is actually, I hate to do it because this is overwhelming. But when you look at this, I would have laughed at you if I would have told you my target from a pattern in January, the target breakout, the conservative target breakout was here in the 475 to 490 range. Yes, this is a conservative target. Why? Because we're only measuring this flagpole right here. If you measured this, for instance, let's look at this like on the 3-day or the weekly. This is a giant bull flag. If you were to measure this just, I don't even look at this as a target because of what you just said about that $1 trillion, hold on, option T, Alt T, measure this out. This just makes me laugh because this is an asinine target to go from this pattern. Yeah, we're going to go to $14. No, I mean, I don't see that happening this cycle, maybe in 2 cycles. But I think this next target up, which isn't going to happen in February, but this next target up, $4 to $8, somewhere in that range. I could see 8 this cycle, but that's if everything is like full steam ahead and they've completely cleared the way for crypto and altcoins.
Well, they'd have to be near a $600 billion market cap to accomplish that. So, I mean, then that's coming to that point where they'd be passing Ethereum in terms of market cap size. Now on my screen here, I just, we're going to spend the weekend. We're going to come back on Monday to Trump's inauguration. Here's a visual on what we almost experienced. If Trump hadn't moved his head, likely you'd be in a civil conflict. Now, instead, he moved his head a little bit. Angle was perfect, just caught him by the ear. And now we have a potential to hit $250,000 Bitcoin with a pro-Bitcoin president. An absolutely incredible time. Let's talk about ride the lightning as far as this nation goes. We also see Gary Gensler giving his goodbye speech through a edited video. Gary Gensler, he knew exactly what he was doing when he was arbitraging the markets, saying that crypto was just a scammer's game. He taught about crypto at MIT, one of the most prestigious colleges in the United States, and then decided to vilify the entire crypto space once he was in the position of SEC chair. So it looks like Gary Gensler has given his resignation, and he will be leaving once Trump takes office. And we also saw this. It's just interesting to see all the rats scurry at the same time. SEC General Counsel Megan Barbaro.
She's tired of being embarrassed.
Yeah, and it's about to get real bad. The embarrassment is going to be extreme for when Trump takes office because he'd be holding these people accountable. She has been a key advisor since 2023, and she is stepping down in, 3 days, right as Trump takes his position as the president, not to mention this ceasefire between Hamas and Israel. I guess they don't want their foreheads holding warheads on them, so they decided to step down. Also, IRS Commissioner Danny Werfel has also just resigned. These rats are scurrying like crazy. And this is on me. I didn't realize that Chainlink is an American-based crypto project. Did you realize that?
I was wondering why it wasn't listed initially when they were talking to you. They listed HBAR and Algo.
Right.
I was like, Chainlink is like, I mean, come on, that's almost more blue chip than Ethereum.
Right.
I think it's the most underpriced asset in the market in the top 100.
So do you think Trump made some slight promises that he's not going to tax American-based crypto projects?
Dude,
that's something that he's actually going to pull through on, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I think the only way they could really get behind doing that is by labeling them currencies.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, or they could label them as American innovation projects that they want to incentivize Americans into. Because this is kind of a moving situation. Like, you have that hard-sided approach that we know from the Treasury and that hard-sided approach that we knew from Congress. Like when Facebook wanted to roll out its own internal crypto, it was called Libra, and Congress lost its mind. They pulled Mark Zuckerberg in. They grilled him for hours. They basically set up where Mark had to disband the idea of having his own crypto on Facebook because it competed with the US dollar. Now the conversation's moving towards this marriage of the dollar with Bitcoin as a backing for it. It sets up the potential. I actually do feel like he's going to do away with the taxes on American-made crypto projects, which Chainlink's my biggest holding.
Well, let's look at the Chainlink chart real quick because it is phenomenal. We're going to zoom out real quick. Look at the 1 week. We're going to be pulling up here. There we go. We got this giant, I mean, you could call it a symmetrical triangle, whatever you want, but we have this pattern with the descending resistance, rising support. And look at this perfect, let's clear off all the lines and everything. The perfect breakout of that line, and it came back perfectly retested this in a falling wedge here and is breaking out. So I do think once Chainlink gets above about 31 bucks, we're going to be making pretty strong headway. You know, first stop will be about right here. These previous range highs was at 38 bucks. The next stop is about 55. And I do expect this to have a very bullish year. If we do a fib on this from the top to the bottom, you can see even the 1.618 is 83. I think this would be a laughing stock for how high this could go. I think very realistically, a conservative level would be somewhere between the 2.618 and 3.618, which is 130 to 150. But my target, am I a moon boy, or am I just seeing all these integrations and rollouts and Swift and partnerships? I mean, what the hell? I mean, I see this somewhere in the 250 to 280 range, somewhere up here in this range here.
Well, all right. So there's a lot to unpack because people have a hard time imagining a over $200 chain link. Honestly, that makes me very excited. But if Chainlink is able to accomplish 1% of the CCIP integrations with Swift, just 1% of Swift transaction, that in and of itself brings Chainlink's price up to 385 bucks. Not to mention all the other things, the partnerships with the central banks in New Zealand, all those. I mean, Chainlink has a lot going for it, and I feel like people are just a little bit beat down over this historically long bear market to have the idea that these crypto projects go to this level. So the power of spot holding for me is how I was able to change my life in 2021 by just buying extreme lows, extreme fear, extreme greed, just like when we were just at $17,000 and all the bears were calling for 10K or 3K instead. I once again backed up the truck, filled up the crypto projects, and Chainlink's my top holding. Second largest holding, I think, has turned into ONDO. I think ONDO has passed my Aerodrome holdings. Right behind that is Aerodrome, but one that came out of nowhere that I bought just a little bit of time ago is MORPHO. MORPHO came out.
That's the coin from Power Rangers, right?
Clearly the coin from Power Rangers. Good shout out to there. Now, MORPHO is going to be the lending protocol. It is the lending protocol for Coinbase. And if you guys, here's the thing, if it really matters who you follow and if they're in it to just shill their own personal bags or if they're giving you actual alpha. Now, what I see in this cycle is Base and Solana being the largest upside ecosystems. And one of the sources that I have for the Base ecosystem, and one source that's really been quite well at calling some of the best movers, is cbduck.base.eth.
That's my financial quant right there.
Right
CB
here.
Duck.
This is, and he's a very good source. Obviously, it's just an additional source to many of them that I have. But a few months ago, they had brought up this new product called MORPHO, right? And it was kind of listed low down in there. And obviously, we just saw MORPHO had been chosen by Coinbase to do the lending on Coinbase. Now, this situation leaves a lot to be asked. How much upside is there really still in MORPHO? I mean, people have been watching MORPHO go absolutely ballistic. Let's hop on over to CoinMarketCap, type her in here. This thing has come out of the gates. I filled up my bags at $1.20 in a pretty aggressive manner. And overall, it's been a good move. So there's $1.20. And now it's sitting here at $4. MORPHO has moved counterintuitively to the rest of the markets. When you saw a pullback on Bitcoin, MORPHO did not give a damn. And this was regardless and not including the Coinbase news. MORPHO is at a $690 million market cap right now. If you go to the website and check out how much value is locked on this ecosystem, it's coming in at $6.2 billion in total deposits. Total amount out there borrowed is $2.3 billion. And when I look at how much upside is left in this project, what I think of is the comparison to what Aave did last cycle. So
that's a good one. Yeah, you're dropping some key alpha here. because it's so simple, but people forget there's a lot of roadmaps in this market.
Absolutely.
That what we saw with Ethereum, you know, with the way DeFi rolled out on Ethereum and where the gravitational pull came in adoption and usage. So why not also use some of those as an analogy for what we're going to see roll out with the base network?
And you can use it in a conservative manner. Like talking about what Aave did last cycle in expectations of what MORPHO, Coinbase's borrowing golden child, can do this cycle is keeping it conservative, okay? So what we're looking at here is Aave's past performance. And Aave, I don't think is going anywhere. Actually, I feel like Aave is going to hit around $20 billion this cycle. Last cycle, it hit $8 billion market cap. So when we look at this, we're like, okay, great. So we have MORPHO that's been exploding. How much more can it really go up? Is this the top for it? Here is the design of the tokenomics. And shout out to our board operator, Mr. Isaac. Appreciate you, bro. All your hard work. He is my AI agent in real life there. And we broke down the expected tokenomics of MORPHO.
He's your morph bro.
He's my morph bro. He broke down the tokenomics into 2025, right? Because I am getting out of the market. What I'm going to be doing is selling all my altcoins, buying another bag of Bitcoin and another home or more real estate, right? So this is the approach that I've always taken, is to utilize the upside of the altcoins to grow my Satoshis and also grow the real estate holdings. And where MORPHO is going to be in the middle to end of 2025 is as follows. So as I've mentioned on the basement, my exit point largely is going to be in August of 2025. I'll be completely out of the market by December. I'm going to be doing it in clips, 10% each month starting in June, because I am a 4-year maxi and I don't think things are going to be too terribly different this cycle.
I will. Remember, we talked about this earlier. I'm still on the same page, though, about the same thing about when I'm going to be starting to scale out or looking to scale out towards the middle end of Q3, definitely by Q4.
Absolutely. Because you have to have an exit plan, right? And you have to have a number in your mind on what's going to actually change my life. What's going to help me move forward in the value for my family, myself, and how can I really set myself up? So MORPHO, let's look at the current market cap and circulating supply. It's at 172 million tokens circulating right now. We did a breakdown on the blockchain basement for this. I better repost this myself and give it a like. We just put this out. Here's the factors. Most of the slight releases that are going to happen in 2025 are going to happen in May. So you won't see any releases begin until May of 2025. And knowing that the unlock schedule is designed for long-term sustainability, keep an eye on these dates, but essentially it is in May where we start to see that leak out, May 17th. The key unlock dates in 25, strategic partners cohort 2, fully vested by October 3rd of 25, cohort 3 and founders start vesting May 17th and fully vested by May 17th of 2028. Okay, a gradual release that is designed to prevent. What you got, Isaac?
Got a question here from Bob from accounting. He says, I have 5K. What should I put into before Monday?
5K, what do you put it into? You know what? ONDO is pretty beat down right now.
Yeah.
I would say ONDO is kind of a, if I'm looking for like what to buy before, if you're having like Monday FOMO, $1.27 is not a bad price for ONDO. I really feel like ONDO come back down.
But Drew, the unlock.
Yeah, that's the same thing. That's why we like to break down, like what I just showed you with this MORPHO release. Is it's a linear unlock, and it's not all at once, and it's largely going to large capital managers that aren't going to be sitting there dumping on your head.
Dude,
so
look at, I just pulled up ONDO on a 2-hour chart.
let's look at it.
I mean, look at this. I mean, this is, for anybody that doesn't understand technical analysis, you're seeing the price action breakdown, a low, you get a lower low, and now you're getting a lower high. You have an inverted head and shoulders here. This is targeting right here. This is at minimum. It's suggesting that a reversal is trying to take place. And the target out of this would be back up here in the $1.59, $1.60 range. Now, will this happen? We'll have to see. But the point being is here, you can look to the charts, the candles, the patterns, the data sets. And on that note, I do want to shout out here because we are above $100,000 and we have been telling you all for months, the BitLab Academy deal that we've had going at lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. I'll put it in the live chat. This is it's 15 days free on the Discord, and then another, I think it's 33 or 35% off for the life of your account there. So lock that in because that deal is going away. It's going to be full price after that. If you lock it in now, you'll keep that deal, and you'll also have access to get the 120 courses and the indicators and all that on the second page of that sign up. But looking at the chart is telling us, I mean, we've had the breakdown. It told us it was going to break bullish. It did. It came back down to retest this line, and it's just telling us this is trying its best to make that reversal to start. And even if it doesn't, my argument is this. We want to be stacking things when we have dip opportunities, and something like ONDO that's plugged in with Securitize and BlackRock and Chainlink, and they have a big-ass conference coming up next month where do you think they're going to have very small announcements, or do you think they're going to be, I think it's going to be, hey, we're not just doing treasury, we're actually moving into I don't know if it's the New York Stock Exchange, or there's going to be some big announcements, I think, that are going to send this. So, I mean, I'm so bullish on this.
ONDO is, I want to look at something as far as like what my prediction is for ONDO, because I am way more bullish than Josh on ONDO's outlook for 2025. But Paul Atkins, this guy is a board member of Securitize. He's actually slated to become the SEC chair. He formerly was the commissioner for the SEC. And he's the guy Trump is likened to take on the position that Gary is being forced out of. He shares this board with some interesting people. James Wallace, the VP of Central Bank Engagements at Ripple. He's formerly the vice president of blockchain at IBM as well. And then we have a few others. I think it was a Bank of America. We have a lot of different people from very, very large companies all serving on this board. ONDO currently at a $1.7 billion market cap. And everyone gets scared of the unlock because it's at 1.38 billion token. It's in the same situation that I just showed you with MORPHO. It's that it's a linear unlock. It's designed for long-term sustainability. And really, you know, ONDO, at the velocity that it has in terms of mind share with RWAs, RWA mind share is not here yet. That's the funnest part about this, is that once we see Paul Atkins take that position as the SEC lead, and we see BlackRock continue talking about tokenized assets, this is going to absolutely explode. So in terms of market cap, I could tangibly see ONDO hitting the $20 to $30 billion market cap. Now, let's do some work on what that means in terms of price. So let's go here to Coin Perspective, pop over here. Now we cook the circulating supply. Let's be generous, pop it up to about 2 billion circulating tokens and go to a $20 billion market cap. That is a measly 7.7x from where it's currently sitting. So when I'm looking at something that's, one of the stronger bets in altcoins sector, I feel like ONDO is right up there with it. And I'm not going to be surprised if this thing does breach into the, $50 billion market cap zone, which would bring it to right around a 19x or a $25 per token price range. I feel like these are, conservative, safe bets for me. I'd be comfortable taking profits at these levels. And when I look at the overall markets, like where we are sitting in terms of altcoins right now, let's go to this. This is what people need to understand, is that the top 5 are very, very concentrated in terms of size of market cap. Bitcoin at 2 trillion, you got Ethereum at 420 bill, XRP at 188 bill, and then Solana at 100 bill. So when we look into what the top 20 looks like, number 20 is at a $9 billion market cap. Number 11 coming in at 17. I am of the opinion that at the current rate of increase that these markets are seeing, I feel like the top 20 projects are going to be made up of market caps that are between $85 billion and $180 billion. And everything that's in the top 10 is going to be around 200 billion on up. That's how I feel for the velocity. I've compared this to historical snapshots. I was there at the last cycle. I watched the cycle before that. And really, I feel like the top 20 is going to be made up of 85 to $180 billion market caps. And I think that ONDO is going to continue to go up the ranks. So where are we at in terms of, where is ONDO right now? It's at a number 69. I feel like ONDO is absolutely going to break into the top 30. The top 30 at the rate of increase that we're seeing right now is going to land between 50 to $85 billion. Let's say it does just hit that number 30 spot and the market increases at the rate it is. That leaves you with a near 20x on the position. What you got, Isaac?
So I got some more questions coming in here about MORPHO. Actually, people are wondering how to buy MORPHO and where to buy it, and they also are ready for you to get back on track with MORPHO after you're done here.
We're gonna get there, but I will show you this because this is something everybody should know before you even own a coin. And it's okay. We're not gonna hate on you if you don't know, but come over here to coinmarketcap.com or coingecko.com. Come up here in this little search bar. Type in the asset. In this case, I'm going to show you ONDO. I typed in ONDO. I went to ONDO. And then you see right here where it says markets. Click on markets. Shows you can buy Bybit, Coinbase, basically everywhere you can buy it. Same thing with MORPHO. You come up here to the top. You type in MORPHO, M-O-R-F-H-O, right? MORPHO. There we go. And same thing. So now you got your charts, all this, but then markets, boom. Bybit, OKX, BitGet, Uniswap, Kraken, KuCoin, MEXC. I get a lot of my altcoin, my super small altcoins here, but you could also go through the process and learn how to get on a DEX and swap it for ETH. Or
I would recommend that.
Yeah.
I absolutely, like what I did, I used my Uniswap wallet connected to my MetaMask and on the base chain to get my MORPHO. I got my MORPHO for literally no fee on Ethereum by doing that. You can go around the fees using Base. If the asset is available on the Base network, you literally pay like a few cents in gas fees to do it. So highly recommend getting involved in understanding how to use Uniswap, MetaMask, the decentralized exchanges. Yes. And here's your markets list for MORPHO. Now, what we got here, we talked about the unlocks. Now, what I'm comparing this to is the historic performance of Aave. I feel like MORPHO, there's a reason why I feel this way, is because 9 out of the 11 or 12 ETFs that are out there in the US markets right now are being housed on Coinbase custody. The largest money managers on the market are going to trust Coinbase more so than any other protocol. And it's not even a protocol, it's a centralized exchange. They're going to trust the Base ecosystem, and that's where the easiest path to large money is, in my opinion. Just because they see BlackRock's Bitcoin as being trusted by that avenue, they're going to go that avenue anyways for their lending on their Bitcoin. So here is Aave's past performance, $8 billion market cap. Now, where MORPHO sits right now, let's do some game math. So we have already covered the past, the expected tokenomics. We've covered the total amount borrowed, the total amount of deposits. Let's check out what this means in terms of price for my bags here. So we go to MORPHO and we cook this level up. Let's be generous again. Let's go up to 200 million MORPHO tokens circulating. And this is being generous, mind you. We go and look at what a $10 billion market cap for MORPHO would look like. That brings it to a $50.90 per token price range. This is where the insane gains are made. This is where we grow our Satoshis, is by buying undervalued new products that are being accepted by the larger financial system and then hold them into the juicy part of the altcoin season, okay? And no, I'm not going to be married to this token. Into the bear market, I am not going to hold any MORPHO into 2026 or 2027. What I'm doing now is I bought it. I'm watching all the institutions come hammering into it. I'm going to see managers of gigantic accounts take loans, and they'll probably over leverage themselves. They'll probably take loans out at the top of Bitcoin because everyone gets in this euphoric up only stage and then they get liquidated, right? But MORPHO has controls that are much more intuitive than previous lending products that we've seen. So,
but we're also, you know, this is very time sensitive because all of us, you, me, even Isaac, TJ, a lot of you Disco fam, I've been stacking for the better part of about 1.5 years for this moment. And now, does it mean it's a terrible time to buy now? No, it's still a good time to buy. You're not going to get the, you know, where you and I might have had a couple 20Xs or 40Xs, maybe 100X. From here, there's still going to be, you know, I would say between 6 and 20X, depending on the project. But the 20Xs are going to be very few and far between from moving this point forward, because a lot of stuff is already, I mean, look at Solana. It went from $8 to 200 plus. MORPHO, what price point did you get in on that?
It was like $1.20.
So it's already basically 3x from there.
It took like a month.
Yeah, yeah. But that huge amount you can get early that gives you those max gains when stuff that this window is closing very rapidly. So we need to get our time horizon in line and figure out where we want to be stacked in, because I mean, this market could start exploding tomorrow. It could start exploding next week, and you don't want to be buying. If you're buying then, let's say everything moves up 20%. You're likely also going to be buying at the top of a move before a retrace. And then you sell on the retrace and lose money and say, it scammed me. No, your strategy or lack of strategy is what scams you.
Well, and it takes a little bit of, I'd say, cojones to buy things when they're not popular already, right? Like, I mean, we always see people that FOMO in at the top and they heard about it from somewhere. It's about having the gusto to actually take those risks. And I'll just show, you know, because I have some losers in my portfolio today that I'm sitting here wondering if they're actually going to research. The portfolio today, one that's completely overlooked by a lot of the ecosystem of crypto nerds that we are, Constellation DAG. This is not just an American-made project. This is an American-focused project that works with the Department of Defense, Space Force, the Treasury.
Oh, yeah, that pump today,
dude,
son.
I know. And Constellation DAG, the U.S. Treasury has been doing test transactions on Constellation's network for like a year. Nobody cares. No one pays attention because it's not like this sexy meme coin where you got snapshots coming out of $5 turned into 5,000. So nobody cares until it's too late. Constellation DAG is at 7.2 cents now. I've been hammering into this project since 2 cents. That's when I did all my buys at 2 cents when it was completely unpopular to buy, because I knew that the Treasury was doing these tests. I knew that the Department of Defense was working with it, and they gave it a recommendation. And here we go. It's up 34% today. Moonwell is another one that's pretty sneaky within the base ecosystem that I have. It's up 24% today. Parse IQ, this is a data aggregator for corporations that want to understand what's happening on the blockchain in a digestible way.
I'm looking at the Constellation DAG chart, and it's just funny because there is one, I don't know if you could see it on the screen there. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 opportunities that was in the 2 to 3 cent range.
Yes.
And all the way, this is when all of us were really hammering this home, starting back in about June on this falling into this zone. And from August all the way through November, dude, and we were screaming from the rooftops about this. And now, oh my God, look at that. Nice move up. Great opportunity here on the retrace and the breakout. I mean, I think, because this is not listed on tier 1 exchanges yet either. So when this does, girl.
Well, and let's do some calculation on this, because Constellation DAG, let's look at this. Because a lot of people, I did a kind of a poll in my chat in the basement, and I was like, how many people have actually had a 10x before? A lot of people are looking for their 10x. And so let's see if Constellation can be that potential 10x. Its previous all-time high without, and this is an all-time high without utility season. This is an all-time high in the worst bull market for utility tokens I've ever seen. This was a fresh SEC lawsuit that happened back in, around the 2020 timeframe. XRP got completely blue-balled out of the entire last bull market. Constellation DAG still went from, it came out at 3 cents. So we literally bought it lower than it came out at, but it went from about a cent to 41 cents in 2021. Now, we have regulatory clarity. We have the US government open to considerations for many different crypto applications, not just data security, which is going to be the first thing on the minds of military officials and communication experts in the United States government. Constellation DAG has a focused plan to fix those problems. And think about the macroeconomic situation. We are at odds with China and Russia. We got a lot of craziness going on. Constellation DAG is there for data security.
And the golden pocket of that move, the golden pocket, not even the top, is up at 30 cents.
Right.
30 cents.
Let's see it. Yeah. I mean, that's just intermediary. Like,
yeah,
this is something where Constellation DAG is at a $200 million market cap. Nearly all of the tokens are already in circulation. Okay. Now, when we go here, Constellation, let's say it just peeks its head into the top 100 just for a moment during this bull market, right? Which is not crazy to think about, because this is a heavily driven utility market that we are now seeing built in front of us. That would bring it, let's give it $1 billion market cap. That brings it to 29 cents a unit. Let's say you just barely hit $5 billion. This is where absolute 10x and more can happen. This brings you to $1.38 a unit. More so, I feel like Constellation DAG is going to hit $1 this cycle. I think Constellation DAG is going to go from 7 cents to $1 in this market. It's going to leave people crying, wishing they had listened to people that seemed crazy when they were talking about it a year ago. When we were hammering into this thing, it made no sense to people why we did. I have literally been holding this project since 2 cents, did all my buys there, and I feel absolutely fantastic about it. You have to get a 10x or more by being stubborn, heavily researched. What are you looking at?
Pull up this.
Let's
There's
see.
a Constellation DAG. So I'm looking at this on the 3-day chart. This is a BitLab trading stack. Showed not only these bullish divergences that we're stacking up in here, it even tells you what divergences they are. Also, the possible reversal signal right here, right at the point that this really started catching the higher lows before the launch. And in addition to that, on the BitLab Trim Fuel, part of the BitLab trading stack, massive momentum divergence here while the money flow was rolling back positive. There was all the signs and signals you needed right here that, hey, this is a good stacking point. And yeah, I had an impulse that came back down. Another opportunity to stack. Had an impulse that came back down. Another opportunity to stack. Why would that be? Because when you look at the price action, it did impulse, but on the breakdown, it did not even break back below this trend signal line twice. So the signs and signals were there. Just if you pay attention to the data rather than be so focused on the price is boring, well, that's when you buy, is when the price is boring.
Yeah, I mean,
unless you want to be a gay snake and just go,
oh my. All right, Sneck. I think Sneck's going to be a good pick too.
I think Sneck's going to do
Sneck's going to do good. Now, and you know, a lot of people think that Doge can't hit $1. I disagree. This cycle, I feel like Doge is going to hit $1, all around just the excitement around the Elon Musk Department of Government Efficiency. And here's something that should make you realize just how much money of your tax dollars this government's been wasting. Washington's end of year use it or lose it approach encourages waste by binge buying bureaucrats. In September 24, the Pentagon went on its largest spending spree since 2008. Reminder, in 2008, America was fighting 2 wars. What did they spend your tax dollars on? Let's dig in. Who needs a 5-star restaurant when you can dine at a Bistro Le Taxpayer Department of Defense? In September alone, it spent $6.1 million on lobster tails, $16.6 million on ribeye steaks, $6.4 million on salmon, and $407,000 on Alaskan king crab. Must be nice. And now, when we talk about the whole reason why I'm in crypto is to outpace inflation. And the inflation being created by money printing, which is then a large portion of it's given to the Department of Defense. And when I see waste like this, it makes me not orange pilled, it's black pilled me to the point where I am not interested in watching my dollars melt before my fingers. As I hold my dollars in my hand, they lose buying power. They lose so much buying power that the Bitcoin all-time high was not previously in the last market, it was not $69,000. Everyone thought that this was the all-time high right there at $69,000. It actually was $64,000 because they printed so much money in this short amount of time that you got devalued at a rate that outpaced that increase. And really, we didn't break all-time highs in terms of buying power until $80,000 because of how much money they've printed between 2020 and now. This is why I crypto. This is why I become my own bank. This is why you guys should take advantage of keeping your crypto for yourself, not trusting banks to hold on to your value for you. I believe we have a link in the description. You can go ahead and pick up your own Arculus cold storage wallet. Use code, is it DISCO?
DC20.
DC20?
Yeah.
We got 20% off
Heck
still?
yeah.
All right, good. DC20. Pick up your own Arculus wallet. I implore you guys, stop trusting banks to mean well for you. Like, this system is built to print you into poverty. If you trust the system as it is right now, they're going to print you into poverty, and it's going to get ugly.
My favorite metric on that is this, and every one of you should hear this, and you should log this into your brain so you have this talking point. I'm not making it up. This is fact. We need this talking point to friends, family, other people that they try to debate. Oh, Bitcoin has no value. Okay, well, first off, you're an idiot. Don't say that. But in 2016, the average cost of a house was $280,000.
Mm-hmm.
The average cost of a house, if priced in Bitcoin, was 664 Bitcoin. 2024, the average cost of a house was about $480,000, which means the price of a house went up in dollars. Had you priced it in Bitcoin, the price of a house was worth about $6. By the end of the year, it was only worth about 4 Bitcoin, meaning if you were storing and holding Bitcoin instead of dollars, the cost of life becomes less expensive because your buying power of Bitcoin over traditional things goes up exponentially. So that's what I'm here for. Bitcoin is the ultimate technology to capture the flaw of the monetary systems globally, which is money printing, bad money management, and devaluing all the dollars that they spend. And realize this, when they print money, they're not just devaluing dollars. They're saying every hour that you worked, every hour that your grandfather worked, every hour that you've ever spent to trade your energy for money is worth less money over time. So you have to spend more time in this economic slavery working. Or you can come in here, get involved with us at Discover Crypto on Blockchain Basement, on BitLab Academy. The link is still there. Remember that deal is expiring. Get in there, learn Bitcoin, learn crypto, learn how to trade and read these charts. Tune into our streams so we can make sure that you can set up your future in the right way, away from this dollar.
You got to escape the rat wheel. Like the system is made to trap you in this. It's a gerbil wheel. It keeps you spinning your wheels and trying to input into the economy when really it's just printing your value into dust. So, lock in right now. Kelly, this is a good show.
This is a good one, baby.
I feel like we're at a good buying points right now. And honestly, Aerodrome, people are asking what I should buy. I feel like if you ask me right now what I'd feel like buying, it's ONDO, Aerodrome, Moonwell. Those all look pretty good to me right now. Maybe
deep pick. This is a risky play.
Okay.
Risky play.
Okay.
Sharp AI, SAI. You can find it. It's SHARPE, Sharp AI.
Let's look at it real quick.
They're a part of the incubators with Microsoft and Google. Also got grants from them. Also tied in with IBM in some ways. And also was one of those AI projects that was birthed out of BitTensor and has some of the big money from the BitTensor people behind it. It's got about a $10 million market cap. And it's in this AI, DeFi AI, DePIN sort of narrative. I dropped in more than I should have more last night.
You're up pretty big on it already.
I'm up decently on that. Yeah, I stacked in. But yeah, I agree with you. ONDO, or MORPHO, Aerodrome. I'm still very bullish on Render, Swell, Velodrome, not Velodrome.
Velodrome.
Moonwell. Yeah. Cardano, I still think is going to do very well. HBAR, you can't discount the HBAR, Algo, XRP, that whole, American born stuff. Avalanche, I'm still very bullish on. I don't know why. This could just be me marrying my bags. I have a feeling like they're going to be getting some really big partnerships that are just going to blow people away on the corporate partnership type of stuff, which will really drive a lot of liquidity and adoption. Of course, Bitcoin. Golly, we cannot second guess Bitcoin just because it has a high price point. It's got so much more to go. What does Michael Saylor say? He thinks it's going to be a $450 trillion market cap. Will that be in our lifetime? Who knows? But I do know there's going to be a lot of growth along the way, and I'm here for it. Let's ride that dragon, baby.
Love it, man. Well, appreciate every single one of you. I'll check out XERO AI on the basement on Monday for you, T-Cash. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for supporting the Discover Crypto channel, the Blockchain Basement, BitLab Academy. We're all one family that literally are obsessed with crypto. We get to do this full time. We're so blessed to be able to do so. Hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Hug your kids, hug your wife, get ready for generational wealth, and we'll see you on the flip side. Till then, take care.